Andrea Dunbar was 15 while she wrote her at first act, and her raw depictions of lifetime on her Bradford property inflicted a feeling. Now her own tragical lifetime history is creature said on phase. Acting by youthful girls of Northern Justice estates comprising accidental sex and national abuse weren't the rule at the King Trial Theatre in London in 1980. House while Andrea Dunbar's The Tree done its opening. She had spelled the at first release 4 persons year over in verdant ballpoint pen on pages break of a high school workout volume. Following Vision It, the Phase paper's frightened reviewer wrote, "If the is a real image of work-grade lifetime in the polar, the worldview is gloomy really." Time several were stunned, for Dunbar, it was fair actual lifetime. Her lifetime. The major nature was named Andrea, who, loved the author by herself, became pregnant woman at 15, had a abortion, excited in a man who hit her, and excited to a shelter. Dunbar's other act, Rita, Sue and Bean, Too Much, became her largest renowned, or shameful, job following Creature rotated in a movie in 1987. But following written one more than act, Dunbar's inspire substantially dry up and she dead following affliction a marrow hemorrhage in her regional pub in 1990 at the age of 29. She's memorable as a acrid, fun author who put work-grade lifetime on Shaw out of judgment or mood. Each buzzword rings real, says playwright Lisa Holdsworth, who has spelled for Urge the Obstetrician and Midsummer Murders, and has written the scenario for the act on Dunbar's lifetime. Her job had how huge genuineness. And she was unwavering, she never looked off, she never flooded it downward or put a pleasant rotation on it. I cannot think Andrea compromising, always. While The Tree was staged, the Post on Saturday declared her a genie direct of the slums in dark teeth and a shiny smiling. The new act is noble dark teeth and a shiny smiling, tailored of Adele Strip's biographic Roman of the identical behalf. It will be executed in a Bradford pub up a round of society venues, consisting a pair on Dunbar's own Buttershaw property. Dunbar wrote on which she knew Rita, Sue and Bob too much, in that a marital man lures his youthful babysitters in a accidental loving delta, was partially encouraged by her own lifetime and partially by 2 horse girls she overheard in the lady bathroom at Keighley Marketplace. It was spelled up the concept of care though existed in the nation, Holdsworth says. This fact of how which sets out as thing entertainment, and how 2 girls in bad household lives might wish how focus and how it can rapidly rotate offensive and unpleasant and emotionally scar, is a really contemporary get on it. I believe it's why how act yet gets manufactured. The men in Dunbar's own lifetime, frequently offensive and imperious, include been cut out of dark teeth and a shiny smiling completely. The act has an all-female throw. Holdsworth explains how instead of show the harm made by the men, she requested to attention on the female who know just are object to how misuse but pull through it, flourish following it, rebound behind. Down there were men who had a favorable effect on Dunbar's lifetime, love the British tutor who spotty her ability and emboldened her to compose. Her job was ultimately gone to the King Trial by a boyfriend of an employee at the shelter wherever Dunbar stayed. One issue how frequently gets requested in theatre circles is, could Dunbar, a lady in precise ability but no silvery tablespoon or leg in the doorway, get noted if she was start out present? Holdsworth is as well the vice armchair of the Writers' Guild of Large Britain, and newly gave testimony on the really issue at the Houses of Parliament. Possessing speak to a pair of sociologists and researchers, the true is it's ever been difficult, and it's yet difficult, she says. Down there was never a gold age while work-grade human beings were creature heard to and lofty. Down there are outliers and I believe Andrea was really not an emission. She had the ability but down there was a slight bit of good luck as so implicated. But how's real for each author? The item how has modified, she believes, is the period and asset schools include to educate ability. The numbers of students take GCSE and LA level AMD include omitted by a tertiary in the recent 10 years. This concept how a tutor would include period to educate a ability external of the syllabus, external of SATs and exams and league tables, I believe house perhaps wherever it has got stronger, Holdsworth says. If down there's a completely formed Andrea out in Bradford currently, I very expect she's creature heard for. One organization hard to hear is Theatre Business out of Collaborative, that has fair toured a recovery of Rita, Sue and Bob too much. Art CEO Kate Wasserberg start up the Andrea Draft, a schema to discover youthful writers of hard backgrounds about the UK. This sounding are down there and we fair requirement to hold cleaning the way, she says. This at first intervene in Andrea's lifetime was a school teacher proverb, you should compose a act. I'm certainly down there are lot precious teaching staff who will discover ways, but it's less than and less than potential, and more than hard for how to occur in an education framework external of individual high school. If you begin cut out an whole chapter of community since they refuged got the cash to accede, you're less than potential to find those geniuses. The Andrea Draft has been run in Bolton, Sheffield and Northampton so distant, and several of those part younger generation are ongoing to job on their scripts in their regional theatres. Though if they don't rotate out to be written geniuses, Wasserberg hopes attending will conduct careers in the arts, or a life concern in theatre. Meantime, Dunbar's lifetime history continues to inspire. CEO Cleo Barnard retold it in her BAFTA-nominated 2010 movie The Tree, an Adele Strips volume. Its phase adapt and Sean Grundy's wireless 4 AMD are now compliance her RAM live. She's yet a character of thing to a lot of writers, Holdsworth says. A character of, it can be made, persistence will pay away, and your vote is fair as essential as who in 15 degrees and all those human beings who go of a specific extent of benefit. This work grade vote is fair as essential, fair as interesting, fair as lively, fair as literature as nobody else's. So how I believe is why she perseveres and hasn't immersed in anonymity. Dark Teeth and a Shiny Smiling, manufactured by Liberty Studios, is at the Envoy Pub in Bradford of May 30th to June 8th. Rita, Sue and Andrea 2 is on wireless 4 at 14:15 BST on June 7th.